Good afternoon, good evening, I'm sorry. On behalf of IIT Madras Alumni Association, we welcome you all to this 50th AGM of the association. I now hand over the floor for the official part of the evening to our President, Mr. V. Gopinathan.
Friends, how many are confirmed actually? 80. Auditorium yet to fill up, but since we already adjourned the meeting and we are reconvening the AGM, the proceedings are started. Dear friends, it gives me great pleasure in welcoming all of you for the 50th annual general meeting of the IIT Madras Alumni Association. The first AGM of the association was held sometime in December 1964, and we can call this the Golden Jubilee AGM. We are continuing with the practice of holding AGM in a centralized place in Chennai so that more alumni can find it convenient to attend the AGM. We are still exploring ways of making alumni connect to each other. In this process, we organized the inaugural All India Bridge Championship open to alumni from all IITs. When we started organizing the championship, we found that the Indian bridge calendar was quite crowded, and many IIT alumni players were engaged in taking part or organizing these tournaments. However, we managed to organize the prelims in 6 cities, which is not bad for an inaugural tournament, and have a grand final in IIT Madras. I thanked Ravi Raman and Vishwanathan on 1977 batch and Vijay Kumar on 1969 batch for successful organization of the championship. We hope to make this championship a regular part of Indian Bridge calendar so that IIT alumni, IIT Madras Alumni Association names keep shining. In this connection, I thank Mr. Muthuraman of 1966 batch and Bhaskar Bhatt of 1967 batch for supporting this championship with good sponsorships. And also special thanks to Mr. K.V. Rangaswamy of 1965 batch for supporting our Willkommen in 2013. So similarly, we find that sports are connecting people together. We also propose to conduct an inaugural IIT Alumni Association Inter-Alumni Cricket Tournament this year. We already sent the notices for it. We have 6 teams for it, and it's being held somewhere in August, September. We are continuing with the group health insurance scheme for the alumni and also the mentorship activities for the student. The Secretary's report has more information about these programs. We are also continuing with the 3 awards for Distinguished Service to IIT, Distinguished Service to IIT Madras Alumni, and Best Young Alumni Entrepreneur. We'll be presenting these after the official conclusion of the AGM. Thank you. I now invite our patron, Professor Bhaskar Ramurthy, to give his address. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you. This alumni AGM is also like a Senate meeting, where also we find it difficult to get quorum. So the situation is the same everywhere in the Lok Sabha also the same thing happens. You have to have a whip, otherwise nobody comes. But anyway, the interested people always turn up, and they are the ones who matter. So that's fine. It's okay. It's not bad. So it's that time of the year again where we meet for the alumni AGM. One more occasion to share some thoughts with you. I really don't have anything very new to say nowadays because of the increased frequency of alumni interaction, thanks to the Office of Alumni Affairs and Nagarajan and others. We do meet quite often. We had Alumni Day recently. Many of you were there. So I really don't have much to add, except to say that the full impact of the capacity expansion in the institute, the increase in number of students, both the mandated increase in the numbers in the course programs and And the other increase in the research scholar intake, which we wanted, but we didn't realize will also happen on its own pretty much at the same time. We thought it will happen over several years, but for some reason, which we haven't yet understood, there is a sharp increase in the interest in pursuing PhD programs. So those numbers are also have been increasing, and we will have 50% or more increase in that number also pretty much in the next within 1 or 2 years more. So we are beginning to feel that, the 8,000 students on campus, it does feel different. So there is and of course we are about 60-70% of the way in adding all the new infrastructure, and I think we are getting to the point once we are done with all this where it will reach saturation. Beyond that, may be very difficult. So we are actually trying. We don't know how much will succeed. I think in the long-term interest of the institute, I think we should get some more land somewhere. It's very important. It's the wrong time to try for that. We should have done it 20 years ago, but we're still trying. So that's some of the things that are happening. And if you come to the campus, you will see that it's beginning to look like, actually it's not something that is unusual. If you look at campuses elsewhere in the world, most of them are pretty dense, and especially in Europe. And in that sense, it's not as if we are overcrowded or anything. It's just that we have to do much more careful planning and watch more carefully what we are doing, because there's not much leeway for making mistakes. And so because of the increase in the corresponding increase in faculty also, we are now, this year we'll be touching 550, and steadily we'll be adding 20-25 net every year, 25 most likely, and in about 4 years time we should reach 650, which I think is a reasonable number. Beyond that, it plus minus 15, 20, 25 doesn't matter. Though the sanction strength is 800, I don't think we really want to or need to get to that, because there are others, we have emeritus and we have visiting faculty and so on, and some guest faculty. So 650 to 700, somewhere there would be the reasonable number. And even in terms of the faculty load, that's quite reasonable. So we'll be getting there also. And we are, as you would say, I think you would probably have noticed that we are much more visible in the media now, both in good and bad reasons. So the good reasons we control, bad reasons we don't control. And we are trying to give some window to the world on some of the work done in IIT. The idea is that it's not so much to brag about or anything, but it's becoming necessary. Otherwise people wonder what all this black hole is about, a lot of resources go into this black hole and what's going on there. And there's an impression that the JEE and the BTech is about the only thing that's going on. And it's not a good impression, because then the resources that are spent is not commensurate with the output. So we have to give some idea, give some peepholes to the world, and to that extent we are doing. And of course, I think in terms of alumni remaining connected with each other, and also the outside world, industry and others connecting with us, turns out that social media and some of these are much better platforms. So we are active in those platforms also. And so I think these are some of the changes that are occurring. Changes are slow in academic institutions. Nothing dramatic ever happens. We don't get acquired. We don't get merged, demerged. None of that happens. It's all very slow, but it's steady. And I request all of you to stay engaged, particularly some of the younger alumni whom I see in the audience here. And I think both the institute and you will stand a lot to gain if we remain engaged. It's important to find the killer app. Whether, I don't know whether it's bridge or cricket tournament or something else, but you have to find the killer app which will bring all the alumni to the campus. So welcome you all to the campus whenever you come there, and the swimming pool will also get back now in another 2 months. We're almost done. The alumni club is also coming up in the research park when it's expanded. So I think there's a lot of, there's a fulcrum there for people to have reason for them to come that side, and I hope that all those things will turn out to be a draw. And even for those of you who are interested in things like music programs and so on, I've attended quite a few music programs in the city. I think we have some of the best music programs in IIT, both because of the kind of auditorium we have, the music, the ambience and everything. And the classical music festival that was there 2 weeks ago, 10 days back in IIT was very, very attractive. So some of you should also keep it's much easier to park and attend there than to go to Music Academy or or Nardagan Sabha where you can't park at all. So I think you should keep all this in mind and increase your engagement with the institute. Thank you very much.
Here also I see alumni continuing students, because I see the first three rows empty and all the back rows are filled up. Yeah. Come, Shankar. Okay. Next agenda in the next item is ratification of minutes of the previous meeting. The minutes of the previous meeting are in the booklet given to you. Can we consider as passed?
Which is the presentation? Which one? The printed laptop. We'll just get it set up. Yeah, sorry. As always, you have a little bit of mischief with the IT setup. Good evening. I see ladies, two ladies and gentlemen here. Thank you for coming over to this Golden Jubilee AGM. I'll try to make the speech brief because you can all read whatever is here in this handout that has been prepared. This is actually the third one that I'm doing. Yeah. So actually the current set of office bearers have taken charge in January of 2011, and one of the goals that we set out was to how do we bring more alumni together. And so in the first year we have focused a lot on rejuvenating the local chapters, and we had some success with meetings in, let's say, Bangalore, Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, Hyderabad. Of course, not all the chapters have kept up the momentum in the second year. So that's, of course, down to the, let's say, initiative of local alumni. In the second year, the gap that we felt when we analyzed, we found that we don't have enough alumni from our PG alumni participating in these events. And one of the trends that has happened in the last few years is that the number of PG alumni now are far larger than the number of undergraduate alumni. And this is a trend that's going to increase, as you heard from our director earlier this evening. Right? So we looked at ways to increase participation, and a couple of things that we did try to do was the belief was that they may be more interested to engage with the department. So we tried to hold more technical events as opposed to more general events, and I'll share with you some of the things that we did for that. So of course we had, I like to just break this activities that we do into basically two buckets. One bucket involves bringing the alumni together in alumni related events. So these are chapter events, reunions, and to engage PG alumni, we did do joint events with a number of different groups. One of them was the Thai Chennai chapter, and we have Vishy, who is the executive director. Vishy, please. We have Vishy, who is a 1971 alumnus and the executive director of Thai Chennai. So he was instrumental in bringing together some events around entrepreneurship that a lot of alumni could participate. I don't see Mohan. Is Mohan here, please? HR Mohan? Okay, HR Mohan was the other alumnus who contributed a lot by engaging programs with the CSI and I guess it was the IEEE chapter, and we actually had a very wonderful talk. I'll just show you some pictures of the things that we did, okay? And then maybe come back to this. I don't know, these are the pictures from the bridge tournament. Anybody here participate in the bridge tournament? Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's right, that's great. So you will actually see Vichu here. I don't see him here, but Vichu was one of the
let's say, leading lights behind. Yeah, Vichu was one of the leading light behind organizing and running this tournament, and we hope to make this an annual event. So a glimpse of some of the prize winners and, of course, the other participants there. These are some of the silver reunions we conducted. Sorry, the pitch is a little bit small. But as you can see, it's actually groups of people like us having fun. So if you participate in the events, it's quite likely that you will have some fun, and maybe you will also learn something, right? That's really the event, one of the events that I personally enjoyed a lot. This was the talk by Windsurf, who we all know as the father of the internet. And this was organized along with the local IEEE and other technical bodies, and this was coordinated by Mohan, as I shared earlier, HR Mohan, one of our senior alumni, right? So there are opportunities to have fun as well as to learn some new things by participating, but for that you need to participate, right? That's the first step. If I go back and talk a little bit about what are the other events that we did. So what else do we do for alumni other than organize events? So we have the, sorry, it's too fast for me, yeah. So we have the, we produce the alumni care video, and this you can definitely see on the website. We also have the life insurance scheme, medical insurance scheme, and Mr. Maruti here is available for those who are interested. He will give you the details. Maybe you can reach out to him after this event. We have a lot of our members have benefited in the last 3 years, and this is currently in the 4th year. This is actually a great use for maybe people who are not with the large companies, or people, entrepreneurs, and those who are consultants or working on their own. For them, this is really a wonderful scheme. I will just touch a little bit on the events that we do with the students. So that's the other main stakeholder, the institute and the students. And among the programs that we conduct include actually career mentoring and mock interviews. Okay, so we have a lot of our alumni who have participated and talked to the students on the type of careers, as well as actually participated in interviews to get the students some real life experiences, as well as the Willkommen that we organize to welcome new graduates. Again, I'll put up a few pictures. So some of you have participated. I'm sure you would have enjoyed these events. So that's actually me along with the panel talking to them on one of the topics. And here there's a finance panel and there's the interview panel. So a lot of the alumni here have participated. I welcome all of you who are interested to either engage with the alumni or with the students to please get in touch with our office here led by Suresh, and we'll be very glad to have your participation. Okay, that's the big picture. That was the Willkommen to welcome our new graduates. This was earlier this year. Anybody from the 2013 batch here? There. Yeah, can you please stand up? Okay. So these are our freshly minted alumni, and I'm sure that they must have attended this party over here. So that was really a nice event that we had at the SAT. Thank you. So, okay, we do a lot of other things, and you can see this list here as well as in this little book over here. Essentially, a lot of our activities are driven in cooperation with the Office of Alumni Affairs, and we have the new Dean of Alumni and International Relations, Professor Nagarajan, please. Actually, he's been a strong supporter and enable us to engage with the Institute in a more productive manner. So we thank him for that. Also would like to mention that we have a tie-up with Y2K label for branded merchandise, and you can see some samples outside. And this is in cooperation with Ravi, who is again one of our senior alumni. Ravi is famous for his Chennai Online, and this is thanks to him for supporting the alumni with this merchandise activity as well. Okay, so these are some of the other housekeeping things that we do. So I have basically come to the end of the presentation. And what is it that we'd like to have going forward is to have more alumni participation in events. We also continuously need to improve our database. We probably have only 60% of the alumni on our records. In that is, we have information, current contact information for between 50 and 60% of the alumni, and we need to find ways to increase this. The office has been doing database reviews and cleanups, but we need support from everybody here. So there was actually an email to me saying, what is it that you wanted to do and what you could not do? So I list a couple of things that we targeted to do, and maybe we will achieve this in the coming months or maybe next year, right? So one of the ideas was to have an online reunion to maybe bring in more of the younger alumni to engage both with the alumni association as well as with the institute. The idea was also to put together some department-focused programs, again to drive PG alumni participation. A first event is being planned. Right? This will be later this year, I get. It'll be early in 2014, and we have Raj leading it from the alumni side, right? And Professor Nagarajan, of course, is supporting it. We have also identified a need, right? This came out of the mock interview programs that we held. Both the alumni who participated as well as external people who have supported this activity did point out that there's some gaps in the understanding of the students on what they would do in particular careers, especially in some of the both in engineering as well as non-engineering careers. So we are looking at how do we bridge this gap. So we usually do what we call as a mentoring session, group mentoring session, wherein we bring in experts to talk of what a career in a, let's say, in a mechanical engineering job or an automobile company or as a consulting job, what does that entail? And then, of course, we follow that up with interviews by people who have worked in these industries. So between the two, we need to have some kind of more kind of a bridging program, and we look forward to doing this for the students. I'd like to actually this is the I'm going to be handing over at the end of this AGM, and I'd like to thank especially the current set of office bearers led by Gopi and Mohan, of course, and the others on the team. I'd like to also thank all the other executive committee members. Could you please stand up? Those of you who are here, please. Professor Nagarajan, of course, Ravi, Girish, DC, please. Raj, any others here, please? Bhaskar or this? Okay, that's fine. So these people have actually spent a lot of time in supporting the alumni activities with advice, support, and action as and when required. So we're really grateful for that support. I'd also like to thank the office led by Suresh, please. So Suresh, actually Suresh who does most of the work. Okay, so really it's good to have him on the team. And so Krishnaveni is who's outside, as well as Pratap, Vijay Prakash. You can bring them. I bring them. They can also. I'd like to actually also thank them in person as they come in. I'd also like to welcome the new office bearers, the new and old and new president Gopi. So I see Ravi, who's our new vice president, and I did see Anbu, who's our treasurer. Yeah, and of course Dalton will join us, who's a secretary. The staff are here, please. Here, I'd like to specifically thank the team led by Suresh, Krishnaveni, who you all know, who's been one of our long-term people. Pratap, yeah, yaar Pratap ne yaar theriyum. Vijay Prakash and Nandi Keswan, right? So these are the team here who make all the events possible. So I thank them and thank all of you, and leave the stage. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Madhu for his excellent effort last 2 years. He has been a pillar of support to us in the EC. He has come with new ideas. As he said, a couple of ideas could not be finished off this session, but we'll finish off in the next session. Thank you, Madhu. Now I request Mohan Narayan to present the accounts.
Just give a couple of minutes to bring up the deck. Okay. Okay, good evening to all of you. Thanks, Madhu, for the Secretary's report. You have seen the financial performance that I have circulated. It's there in the website, and it's also there in your reports. But this deck just gives you a summary of what we have done over the last 2 years, and also the financial performance specifically this year compared to last year. Just at a highlights perspective, revenue, I mean, I don't go through the numbers, but all of you know the sources of revenue, which is basically the subscription that we receive from the students through the institute. And of course, on the money that we collect, the interest that we earn out of it, and through various other programs that we do as well. Now, in terms of expenses, again, the major chunk of expenses goes to two heads: the salaries that we pay to the staff in the office, as well as the many programs that we do under many buckets for the welfare of the alumni, students, and the society. So we've got 3 or 4 highlighted expenses that I have indicated here. And as you can see, this year we are income over expenditure positive. Of course, I must, while clapping is welcome, I must confess that one of the reasons is also because there was a huge depreciation write-off that we took into the books last year, which was about 5 lakhs, which is why, you see the difference between this year and last year. But, on a comparative note, we have done better than last year as far as the treasurer is concerned, because we are still more cash positive. At the same time, we have cleaned up our books. There was a lot of depreciation that was, lying unaccounted for many years, which we cleaned up. We set up good accounting practices. We put tally in place, and we also made sure that events are mapped to revenues and expenses, so that, till last year we were in a situation where we would put income and expenditure based on, when the money would come. Now we have got into a situation mapping to the core date in which the event happens, and, account them properly as in a corporate in terms of receivables and, payables, and or showing outstandings. So revenue over expense, obviously positive. So what does it look in terms of corpus? Pretty healthy, very, very healthy actually. Over 1 crore plus in terms of corpus. So that is how we have done better than last year. So what it does, of course, I'll throw the floor open for questions, but what it does give is an opportunity for the new executive council and the office bearers to actually look at more and more projects that we can take up, because we've got enough funds in place, and there are enough ideas, I'm sure, available in the alumni at large. And if those can be met and synergized, I think there is a tremendous opportunity for us to add value to the students, to add value to the fellow alumni. And of course, I know Raj and all who do a lot of work with schools and other socially related activities. I think there is a lot of opportunity for all of you to do that. So that pretty much summarizes what I have to tell. I'll now throw the floor open for questions, and then after that request for the approval of the accounts.
First, congratulations in order to Mohan Narayan for managing.
It all becomes zeros in 2012-13, whereas they have been fairly substantial in the previous year. Is it because they not had any activities, or because you not paid them, they did not have any activities? Which is the chicken, which is the egg?
Second one, they not had any activities.
But we have been encouraging.
After each event every 3 months. Now they seem to have slacked off. This year they not had any event at all.
I know.
Bangalore has been telling us they're conducting from 2000 January onwards. Still not been able to.
Yes, I know. There has not been many activities there. Yeah. Is it because we not given them, or they not asked for? I don't know.
We are ready to support India.
Okay.
Yeah, we are willing to fund, to whatever extent we have to.
We have the opportunity to fund. Shall we take the finance?